Hi, David Fine here from Keys Moths. Welcome to the Wacky Worm series. Got a wacky worm for you today and a wacky name. Condylorrhiza vestigialis. Okay, say that a couple times in a row. It's a really cool little pyralid moth that lives in South Florida. Check this out. Condylorrhiza vestigialis, guys, that's the last time I'm going to say it because that's really a nerd word and I don't think it even has a common name. If there is, I haven't found it yet, but it's a really neat pyralid moth, a little bit large actually for most pyralid species. It's over 1 inch wingspan. There are actually 2 color forms that we've found down here in South Florida. There's a yellow form and like almost a whitish cream colored form. Both of these color forms have brownish wavy lines and dots in them. That pattern is what really separates the species from the others in its family. There are several other species of pyralids that are somewhat similar in the Florida Keys, so check out our website and our photographic catalog to be able to tell the difference. Website's www.keysmoths.com. Check out the pyralid section in there and look at the plate series and you'll see that there's about 4 or 5 species that are similar, but this one pretty distinct in the markings when you put them side by side with their cousins. This species can be found in the southeastern United States and throughout the Caribbean, and we've found them somewhat commonly on a number of the islands in the Florida Keys. Their host plants are willows or salix species, which is actually kind of interesting because willow does not occur naturally in the Florida Keys, so they must be using other plants as their host plant. We just haven't found that out yet. Caterpillars can actually be somewhat of a pest to willow plants. I've got a willow tree in my yard. About once a year, caterpillars from this species completely defoliate my willow tree. It's kind of frustrating when you're trying to attract viceroys and use the tree for aesthetics and so on. But caterpillars are green and are somewhat gregarious in their habits, and they'll actually form this big webbing where a number of them will live together in some kind of communal environment. And inside of this webbing, the caterpillars will actually take several leaves and bind them together with silk and actually live inside of that little housing for themselves. And as the caterpillars get older, they tend to be a little bit more solitary in their habits. The larvae are actually very active and crawl around very quickly for a caterpillar, but when they're disturbed, they'll quickly leap off the plant and bungee jump down on a piece of silk that they create, and they'll hang there 3, 4, 5 feet down on this piece of silk, and after the apparent threat is gone, they'll crawl back up the silk and start eating again. Pretty interesting habit there. They'll pupate right inside of that housing that the caterpillar makes, and chrysalis is brown, and when they're ready to emerge about 10 or 11 days later, they'll pop right out, and they have a very quick life cycle. Pretty easy to raise if you want to raise a few on some willow. I live in Broward County, and they actually are very common here. We find them quite often, but willows are a common plant in Broward County. Down in the Keys, willow doesn't exist, but we find them commonly on Big Pine Key, No Name Key, Marathon, Bahia Honda, and Key Largo. No willow on any of those islands from my knowledge, but we'll hopefully find out what they're feeding on down there. And that's why our project down the Florida Keys is so important. We're making discoveries all the time, host plant discoveries, life cycle discoveries. So if you want to find out more about the moths of South Florida and the Florida Keys, check out the website, www.keysmoths.com. We would love for you to follow us on Facebook and Instagram. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel, click the bell for notifications, and we'll get you more videos like these. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up because that helps out our channel. Guys, that's all the time we have for today. Hope you enjoyed the video. Let's get out there and find some moths. Enjoy South Florida. Take care.